On this video, I'm going to show you how I made the following trailer using tools available at our sponsor, Dzine.ai.
They built a system to protect everyone, but they never tested us. They had another standard. What the hell? They only ever test for men. They knew the numbers. They knew for years.
She's not just a test subject, for God's sake. She's the proof.
You really think a mannequin in lipstick is going to change federal policy?
Millions of women are dying unnecessarily.
Today, they decide whether I even deserve to exist. You can't measure safety if you're not even in the equation.
Welcome back to the channel where we discuss the creative uses of AI, and Dzine.ai is a platform we've discussed a few times here on the channel. You can go back and get a general overview of their functionality by watching some of those videos. Today we are going to use a couple of their newer tools, the ability to create videos using the Kling 2 model and their new lip sync model, which absolutely blew me away. I was really shocked. I had lower expectations than what I got, and as you saw in the video, it's pretty impressive. We had that one profile shot of that woman and it was pretty much flawless. So let's talk about the process of creating this video, and I'll quickly show you the tools and techniques I used on Dzine. Now, this whole thing came from a conversation we were having around the house about how it's just been recently that they've added female crash test dummies. We talk about a lot of random stuff around here, and it got me curious about what's the story on that. So of course I go over to ChatGPT and get the whole history of the female crash test dummy, and then I thought, well, I wonder if there's anything sinister going on. Is there a deeper story there? So I had it do a deep dive, and then I thought, well, maybe there's an idea for a movie here or something like that, and so I had it come up with the idea for a movie. It created different approaches we could take to a movie, and it created the characters and all of those things. I decided on one particular approach, and then I got the idea for it to create a movie poster for what this movie would be, and it came up with this image here, and the wheels just started spinning, and I thought, I gotta make a trailer on this. And the Dzine platform gives us basically all the tools we need to do that. So the first thing I wanted to do was to create a character that I could duplicate through text prompting, so I could create a series of images that I would use with the Kling 2.0 video generator to tell this story of this trailer, which, by the way, I had Chat map out for me. Now, I strayed from it a good bit, but it was a starting point. Now, because I really liked the look that it gave this crash test dummy, I asked Chat to create a character sheet with different angles so that I could bring those different angles into Dzine and use their consistent character creator to create a model that I could refer to during text prompting. And then they gave me this. So I took this image and chopped it up into 4 pieces, and over in Dzine, I just went to their character creator and clicked on Build Your Character, and I chose the option to start with images. I just dragged those 4 images over here, and about a half hour later, I had a model that I could refer to. So given the rough arc of the story that Chat provided me for the trailer, I started creating some images. And I was able to do this by prompting Maddie specifically. To utilize a character that you create like that, I'm in the character creator, I click on Generate Images, and then I can click on Choose a Character. And here's a list of all the characters I've created, and here is the one I called her Maddie. And then I can have Maddie is shopping for groceries, and click on Generate, and in a few seconds I'll have a picture of Maddie shopping for groceries. And that's the beauty of the consistent character. It won't just be some crash test dummy, it will be Maddie. See, here she is shopping for groceries, and she looks exactly the same in both images. So continuing on, you can see I just created a bunch of assets that eventually I'm going to animate. Whenever I do projects like this, I just generate a ton of images because I never really know which way I'm going to go with it until I get them all together in an editor, really. There were times when I needed to use the AI in-painting tools available on Dzine to add elements that I couldn't get through prompting, like holes in the head or in the body. At some point during this image creation, I started to convert some of them to video to see how this was going and see how they might flow together. You can send any of your images to the AI video editor just by clicking the corresponding number under the image here in the results column, or you can just go to the AI video tab over here where they have 9 different video models to choose from. We're going to focus on Kling 2, but the fact that they have these others comes in really handy when for whatever reason we don't get the results we want with Kling 2. So I just wanted to get some shots of animation because this crash dummy is going to do a fair amount of talking with the lip sync feature, and we want to make sure that we have her face, but we don't necessarily just want static shots. So I'd use prompts like camera dollies left while tracking her face using the Kling 2.0 model, and then we get something like this, or this, which is perfect for adding lip sync. If we want to add lip sync to this, we would just click the lip sync button. And now we have a couple of different ways we can do this. We can upload audio that will translate into text to speech, but in this case, I wanted to use the text to speech tools built into the platform to see what they could do. So they have some realistic voices you can choose from. We chose the Brittany model for her. So whenever I want her to talk in Brittany's voice, I just use this feature, type something like, they knew the numbers. They knew for years, and then we just click on generate, and then we get something that looks like this.
They knew the numbers. They knew for years.
I want to kind of zoom in on the lip sync feature because it's really versatile, especially when you have images or video with multiple characters. Let me give you an example. So we'll go to lip sync. I'll clear this one out. I'll load a face image rather than a video for this one. And you may recognize these women from the shot, but not together. I had them actually separated in here, and we didn't animate these guys at all. But if we wanted to animate this woman here, we would just choose her. And now we have a lot of cool flexibility. This isn't necessarily the shot unless we leave it like this, but we can also have this aspect ratio, this aspect ratio, this aspect ratio, this aspect ratio, and we can zoom and pan around. So I can focus exactly where I want to, or I can zoom out and have the entire image. But this is still the woman who's going to talk.
See how cool and easy this is?
So we don't have any stray weird lip sync on any of the other faces, which does happen sometimes in some of the other solutions. And if we wanted to make it even more realistic, we would animate this image first, give it a little bit of motion, and then add the lip sync on top of that. Here's another example of the Kling 2.0 model following great camera direction. I gave it the same dollying instruction with tracking on her face, but it just adds a lot more life to the scene than just a static shot of her or even just a simple push-in. And then when you apply lip sync to it, it looks like this.
What the hell? They only ever test for men.
So it just became a process of generating the images and animating them and adding lip sync, and then going through the process of creating any extra B-roll footage that I needed for the trailer. I did have some real challenges with one particular shot, and it was this. Can you guess why I had problems with it? It was because they were constantly getting flagged as not suitable for work. Clearly because it's interpreting this crash test dummy as a nude figure. So any attempt I made to use the Kling models, or most of the others too, resulted in errors like this, and refunded credits. However, I did find a workaround with the WAN 2.1 model, which allowed a generation like this. So even though Kling 2 and Kling 1.6 and many of the others would not let me generate this image, I was able to get results with the WAN 2.1 model. And this result that I actually used before I added the lip sync was with the Luna Ray 2 model, which is one of your choices here. So if you're not getting the results with any of the models that you try, you get to try some of the others. And once all of these assets were created, the videos, any still images, we brought them all into a video editor, and that's where the second half of the creative work was done, assembling all of these in an order that made sense, adding sound effects, adding music in the transitions, and finally ending up with what you saw at the beginning. So I know that was a fairly quick overview of the process, but I just wanted to give you a basic approach to creating something like this and show you what kind of tools were available on the Dzine platform so that you can do the bulk of the work right there without having to leave and go to other platforms or tools to get what you needed. If these are the types of solutions you're interested in learning more about, well, why not subscribe to this channel? Because this is the type of stuff we love talking about all the time.
If you subscribe now, I will not look for you. I will not pursue you. But if you do not, I will look for you. I will find you. And I